Speaking of the Guardians, they are playing.
They make you
Continuing to play
they
poor
make you
baseball.
wanna
They
drink.
do make you want to drink. They're playing terrible baseball. They have lost 12 of 18, I believe. Is
They're
it?
7-14 since the All-Star break.
Okay, so 14 of 21.
They're 1-5-1 in their 7 series
Yeah.
since the All-Star break. They've been
Yes.
outscored by 25 runs during this
Yeah.
stretch. There's not a single. I tried finding any positive number I could find
Yeah.
for the Guardians about how they've played post All-Star break. It doesn't exist. They're bottom 5 in the league in average, in OPS, in home runs, in extra base hits. Their pitching has been decent. The offense has been horrific. With runners in scoring position, they're bottom 3 in the league. There's no metric you can find right now that says this Cleveland Guardians team is playing well right now, and the record backs it up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, right now it's hard to have any faith in this team. The saving grace is that there's nobody that's really that good. I know, the Tigers have played a little better, but they're still under 500 too. That can't be right. It says Detroit's 58-69, but they're 58-61, aren't they? Detroit?
They're definitely not 58-69.
Yeah. But there's just nobody that's really that good in the American League. It remains wide open. Boston's playing really well.
Yeah, they are.
They're playing great right now.
But we saw it with the Guardians. They went on that incredible tear in
Yeah.
August. Can you really stay that hot all the way to October?
You can't.
Usually it's not sustainable.
I know, right now, there's absolutely no reason to think that even if the Guardians make the playoffs, they can do anything in the playoffs. But that's the good thing about baseball. You punch your ticket, you never know,
You get hot at the
especially in a
right
wide
time.
open American League.
It's the ebbs and flows. Like, they're playing terrible right now.
Yeah,
I understand why people would have hesitation to say this team can turn it around, but we've seen weirder,
I still believe
crazier,
in this team. I don't know
further
why.
from realistic turnarounds happen on shorter notices than it would be for the Guards right now.
Yeah, and they're 5 games out in the first, which is a decent amount at this time of year, especially because you're behind 3 teams.
4 games too. They're 4 games out of first.
4 games. And in the wild card, I think they're only 2 games
They're
out.
2 games back
It's
in
a
the final wild
million
card. Yeah,
different
they're
teams
still
there.
right in it.
They're right in it. They've got to start putting it together soon. You can't afford to go on like this much longer.
It's a big series.
Absolutely.
This is a
against
really
the
big
Tigers.
series.
It's a 3-game set with the Tigers here before you come home.
I'd say you better take 2 or 3. I always think a sweep is unrealistic.
Yeah.
You can't really, unless you have to, demand a sweep. But you
Yeah.
better take 2 or 3.
I mean, this is the time. Detroit's mediocre. I know they're playing okay. San Diego's okay. And then after
Giants
that,
are terrible.
what's that?
Giants are terrible.
We got the
Giants,
Giants,
Rockies,
Angels, and who's the third team?
Rockies.
Those are 3 of the
bad
worst teams in baseball.
3 very bad
But
teams.
then again,
yeah.
they lost to the Mets. So,
Yeah.
I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? But now's the time. I mean, they got to start picking it up. We're down to 6 weeks left in the season? Maybe 7 weeks. I can't remember exactly if it's 6 or 7, but something like that. I mean,
What's the pitching tonight? I didn't see. I didn't
It's
look.
Bybee versus a guy I'd never heard of for Detroit. It wasn't a big name dude.
Drew Anderson. So Drew Anderson, he's got great strikeout numbers. You see there, 78, 68. He's mostly pitched out of the pen this year. He's a young pitcher.
Is he an opener, not a starter?
No,
He's a
at
real
this
starter?
point he's kind of in between. He's not like a legit starter, but he's not an opener.
I think they put him in after the trades, didn't they? Didn't he just
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
rotation?
yeah.
Him and Job took the spots of Skubal and Mize
Gotcha,
after
okay.
the trade deadline.
So he's a legit starter, but I mean, he's mostly pitched out of the pen, but he has started, and he won't go long. I mean, the Guardians have the advantage in that matchup, clearly.
The question I wanted to, ask,
Yeah.
and you kind of just touched on it, but they're running out of time to turn the ship in the right direction. There's not a giant runway left. And granted, the American League Central and the wild card, it's not a giant gap between where they currently sit and where they need to get to. But at some point, they have to start righting this ship. And they just had a chance against Chicago over the weekend to pick up games on a team ahead of them in the standings. Detroit's another team that now they're looking up at in both the wild card and the division standings. And then it's 3 series against really bad teams. Really bad teams. If it's not now,
first San Diego and then 3 really.
Sorry,
good teams.
3 of their next 5 are against.
Yeah.
If not now, I'm not quite sure when. I understand baseball is most unpredictable. It can happen at any point.
No, they need to.
But now is the point where they have to start playing better baseball.
They cannot afford to fall much further behind.
I would need to see the schedule again, but that stretch we just talked about has to take them to close to the end of August.
Oh yeah,
The next
Yeah.
series.
It takes to the end of
Yeah.
So if you play 3 bad teams
and don't make up ground.
And
yeah.
if you're still 5-6 games out of first place at that
Yeah.
point, you probably have to pull the plug. on
I had
this.
been completely confident for most of the season they would win the division. I still think they're going to win the division. I still believe that, but I'm not as confident in it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose some confidence. Kudos to Minnesota, who has stayed around 500 all year. I don't know how the hell they've done it. And kudos to Chicago,
yeah.
who has stayed, a few games over 500. Again, if they were playing in the National League, I think all these teams would be under 500.
Probably.
But it doesn't matter. They're not playing in the National League. So you are where you are. Now, you can't afford, if you're the Guardians, to fall much further behind. Yes, they're in fourth place, but I mean, they're only a half game back. They're tied in the loss column with Minnesota. They're a game back at a loss column in Detroit. Those three teams are essentially tied for those spots. You've played what, 119 games? That means you got 43 games left on the season. So let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take it for you can't keep setting yourself back and losing series after series. They have to start winning series. I can't say, if they lose this series to Detroit, is it over? No, I don't think it's over because the American League is going to continue to be bad. But if they don't turn it around in the next 2 weeks and start playing much better baseball, they're probably not going to make it.
I see a lot of people online keep saying, well, they erased that 15-game deficit last. That is so unrealistic and so out of the realm of repeatability.
That's not going to happen again.
It happened. It was incredible. It was magical. Like going back to that, thinking back at it now, almost a year removed. I don't know how it happened. Like so many things had to go right for them, go wrong for Detroit for them to close that gap to surpass the Tigers in the standings and win the division. You can't just expect that to happen again.
That
happens
is
so
like once
unrealistic.
every 40 years.
If that.
Yeah.
If that. So that's why I'm putting the imperative and the importance on the Guardians to turn this around now, because that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, no,
it's not.
If they fall much further, like the division's getting hairy already. The wild card, they're still, but like 4 games in the division is a decent amount.
Yeah.
It's certainly not with 43.
They got 3 games left to Chicago at the end of the year.
Right.
I think late September.
Yeah.
So you better be within 3 when you get to that point.
What a season Murakami's had for them, man.
They've had a couple guys who are putting up numbers.
He was injured. Yeah, well, Rojas has been great out of nowhere this year.
I never thought Murakami was going to be what
Colson Montgomery's been
fantastic.
Awesome.
And Colson Montgomery. But yeah, he was playing great, and then he got hurt, and you thought, he's going to come back, he's going to struggle, but he's been great again.
Yep.
I think he scuffled for like the first couple of days when he came back.
How much did he cost? Do you know what the contract was?
Not
a ton.
So he was a guy that, theoretically speaking, could have been a Cleveland Guardian?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody thought – he always had a lot of swing and miss, and the power was there, but I certainly didn't think that he was going to get to this much power his first year here.
Overall, most of the Japanese players that have come here have done well.
They have.
They
have.
And
is that a market you think that Cleveland should start exploring a little more?
I mean, I think they need to go to – I think they're eventually, when they come out of this strike lockout, there's going to be an international draft, and the Japanese players may not be able to come directly and sign with any team. But I don't know if that's going to – and that's how I think it should be. I think that would benefit teams like the Guardians, especially on the guys who are making like a Yamamoto or an Ohtani who got paid a ton of money to come over, as opposed to some of these other guys. But you look at the Japanese players, not those big sexy names, but you look at some of the players that have come over at lower price. Now, Imai for Houston's been terrible this year, but Murakami's been great. Okamoto with Toronto's been really good. Seiya Suzuki with the Cubs. Shota Imanaga with the Cubs.
Imanaga was a big contract, though, wasn't he?
No, not really.
Oh.
No, I mean, not like crazy. Not like, yeah.
Well,
Sasaki's been so-so.
2 years, $34 million on Murakami. So more than Cleveland would have paid, but not outrageous.
Not crazy money, yeah.
I mean, what'd they pay for Josh Bell a couple of years ago?
I think it was 14, wasn't it?
They traded for him.
No. Him and Zunino were the same free agency class.
Did they sign him?
Yeah, because we talked about they finally did some stuff, and it was Zunino
and it was like
Bell,
a one-year deal with a one-year option.
Yeah, it was a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And Zunino was the one they DFA'd and got rid of ASAP.
Right.
They ended up trading Bell for
I don't think he was
prospect.
making 17 back then. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it was 14.
Was it?
Right, but it's not. Yeah, then it was another option for 14.
mean,
so it's basically this similar.
But without any track record, you think they're going to spend $34 million on a guy who's
No, they wouldn't have. But obviously, would have been a good move.
It worked out. Yep.
You know, but
Do you think there's any, just on the Japanese success, is there
Yeah.
any traits you've seen from these Japanese? And once again, I'm
I
very
don't want
much
to lump in everybody together just because they're from Japan.
No, but I'm saying a
Yeah.
trait from that game, because it's obviously baseball is baseball, but just like FIBA basketball and NBA basketball, there are differences in how the game's played. Is there anything from the Japanese game that you think has allowed these players to come over and have immediate
Interesting.
success?
I don't know that I know enough about the Japanese game to have a qualified opinion. I do know one thing I do know is overall the pitchers don't throw as hard there, but I don't know how that would benefit
Okay, I was just
players
curious. Like,
here.
you
but
mentioned the track record of the guys.
I do think the fundamentals from the guys that come over here are very good. And we see that with European basketball players. Like it's more of an old school type of game. It's more fun. Youth in Europe playing basketball are playing more fundamentally sound basketball than in America. Isn't that fair?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, but I'm not sure if it's the well, it's partially fundamentals.
Yeah.
But the NBA guys are stealing offensive ideas from Europe left and right,
Right.
now. Almost all, I should say almost all. A lot of the top offensive minds in the NBA today
Yeah.
have a European background. And I think part of it is the athleticism difference in the European game versus the
Yeah.
American game right now. So they
Right.
have to be better fundamental, and they have to be more willing to run offensive sets, run plays the way a coach has designed them,
Yeah.
as opposed to the isolation ball and I don't want to call it street ball, but the
Yeah.
AAU style of basketball, which has
Yeah.
completely
AAU is
ruined the
destroying-
American
Yeah,
developmental
it's
system.
terrible.
destroying American
Travel
basketball.
baseball, I would argue, is not good either. But you're part of it, so you're gonna defend it. But
I'm actually working on a piece on that right now.
okay, having B teams is ridiculous. But anyway, I will say, thinking about it more, that in Japan, the pitchers, while they don't throw as hard generally, the pitchers have a more wide variety of pitches. And so maybe for the hitters, they get to get used to a lot of different type of pitches. I think that's part of it. Because you see all these pitchers, even the American pitchers that go over to Japan and then
Foster
come
Griffin
back,
Yeah.
has
Like
seven
Foster Griffin.
pitches.
they go there and they develop more pitches.
You know, you bring up an interesting point because you're 100% right. There's been an influx of European coaches into basketball. You
Yeah.
think we'll ever see Japanese coaches come into
No,
American League baseball?
No.
Not American League, American
No, we don't.
baseball. I'm
doesn't
saying, I
happen.
wonder if we'll see,
Yeah, I don't know. We
because
haven't.
you're right. There's been a lot of success from the players who have come.
Yeah.
I just wonder if some of the pitching coaches will
Right.
start
Yeah,
migrating this
that
way.
is interesting. I know Bobby Valentine, who was a manager in the majors, is American, but he did manage in Japan
Yes.
for a while, in
Yes.
between stints in the majors. I don't know, but I don't know enough in terms of like the hitting. Why are the hitters generally come up? Maybe it's only because it's the best hitters that come over here.
It could be
know.
as simple. I was just curious. I had never.
But like,
thought of it.
like most of the hitters that have come over here and signed major league contracts have pretty much all been good.
Yeah.
I mean, going
um,
back to like Hideki Matsui back in the day.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
one of my favorite Yankees.
Right. Deki Matsui is fantastic.
Ichiro's obviously the first and the biggest name.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the biggest anymore with Otani, but
No,
he was
Otani's the biggest
He
name,
was
but
the biggest for a
yes.
while.
Yeah. I saw this video, 2 videos that I found interesting.
Can I
Although-
guess one of them?
What?
Was it Ichiro hitting batting practice? the other
No,
day?
but I have seen that.
He said he could have hit 40 home runs if he didn't care about average.
he probably could have.
He was that good of a hitter.
He was probably, yes. I mean, his bat control was. Do you know? I can't remember the exact number. I don't know if it was by his 3rd at bat or his 10th at bat, whatever it was. Sometime in his first 10 or 12 at bats, his batting average in his rookie season reached 300, and it never went below 300. His career batting average after that in his career,
Insanity.
for his
crazy.
entire career.
Insanity.
I don't remember the exact
Yeah.
at bat that he reached it, but yeah, I mean, when I think of the great bat control hitters of all time, I think of Ichiro,
Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs,
Rod Carew.
George
Brett.
Brett. Yeah, I mean those are
Pretty good top 5.
5 of the guys.
I'm sure there's more. I'm not. Ted Williams, my God. Ted
Yeah, but I'm
Williams.
talking about guys I saw play.
Yeah.
I didn't see him play,
Yeah.
so that's before my time.
Did you see, real quick, I don't know
Yeah.
if we got to go. We got to spend a minute on. Did you see this bonkers play last night with the Blue Jays Red Sox game?
No.
I did not see.
You
it.
didn't see this?
No.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll watch it on our phones and then we'll react to
Okay.
it.
It's crazy. I almost sent it to our group chat. I think it was
Okay.
kind of late when I saw it. I've been watching baseball almost 50 years. I've never seen this before.
That's the great thing about baseball. Is you see something you never seen.
Herb Score used to tell Tom Hamilton that all the
All right,
time.
we'll get to that next on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.